Alright, hello students, this is Mrs. Jones again. I'm going over questions 20, 21, and 22 of the Algebra 1 Keystone practice test. So our number 20 here has this inequality. I'm going to write it over on the side. 7n minus 2n minus 10 is less than 35. Okay. So this is like an equation on steroids. There's two, instead of just having one set of equal signs, there's two sets of equal signs. So the very first thing that I have to do is inside of here, I've got to clean this up a bit. So what I mean by that is this -2, I'm going to distribute it between those two. So I get -2, and then -2 times -10 would be a positive 20. And the rest of this is just going to fall down. So still inside of here, I can put these two n pieces together. Okay, 35. And now we got to start manipulating some stuff to solve it. So our goal is still the same, that we want to get n by itself. So that means we got to move this other stuff away. And when you take this 20 and move it, or get rid of it, you've got to do it to everything. Every side, every angle of that problem. So we're going to have 15. Inside of here, this 20 is going to go away. We still have 5n inside of there. And 15 minus 20 is going to be a -5. And now, still trying to get this n by itself, I'm going to divide everything by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 5 divided by 5 goes away. -5 divided by -1 is -1. So now we've got to kind of figure out which graph goes with this. Choice A, I can eliminate right away because that's not even -1 and 3. -1 and 3, it's 7 and 11. Same thing with this one, I can eliminate these because it's not in the right spots. These two, I'm looking for a solid dot at -1 and an open dot at 3. So it looks like it's this one. A solid dot at -1 and an open dot at 3. So the way I want you to look at this, just to test it, is to look at n has to be greater than or equal to -1. So if it's greater than or equal to -1, it's going that way. And then it has to be less than, n has to be less than 3. If it's less than 3, then it goes this way. And that's how you get that shading in between or connecting it. So C is our answer. Right? Alright, question number 21. There are 5 blue, 3 green, and 7 red plastic chips in a box. What is the probability of randomly drawing, without replacement, a green chip and then a red chip from the box? So, how you do probability is you say positive over probable. So our first thing is a green chip. There are 3 green chips out of the whole box. 5, 3, 8. So there's 15 chips in this box. 3 out of 15. And that's for a green chip. And then you multiply. We're not going to put that chip back. We're going to hold it out. So now for red, there are 7 that would be successful. But in this box of 15, there's no longer 15 there. There are now 14. What we're going to do is multiply this across. We're going to go 21, and then let me grab one of my calculators here. For 15 times 14, right? 210. And I've got to simplify this. Right away, it looks kind of funky, right? I can see that 21 and 21 times 10 is what would give me this. So it's 1 out of 10. So you have a 1 out of 10 chance of drawing a green chip and then a red chip from the box. Next thing here is the number of students buying a lunch in the cafeteria the last 2 weeks. This thing is called a stem and leaf plot. So what it shows is that it shows a data, and it would be 80, 89, 96, 105, another 105, 123, 128. Do you see how this represents numbers? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off this chart because sometimes it's easier to work with when it's off. But I'm going to write, there's 80, 89, 96. I'm taking these off of this chart. 105, and we've got another 105. We got 123, 128, 129, and then you've got 137 and 138. So some of the things that you would come across when doing things like this is something that's called mean. Mean means add up all the numbers and divide by how many there are. Mode is the number that, the number it appears the most. And the median, that's what we're being asked here, the median is just like the median in going down the road. It's the thing in the middle of the road. So when it's small list of numbers like this, best way to find the median is just to go crossing off. Boom, boom, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I end up with this thing where there is no, the median is like in the middle here. So what you have to do is you have to average those two together to find the median. So 105 plus 123 divided by 2 is 114. So the median is 114. Okay. So this was the video for questions numbers 20, 21, and 22. I have one more question that I'd like to go over. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this in this section. It says the band director surveyed students about their favorite musical instruments. The results are shown below. It is estimated that 170 students chose piano as their favorite musical instrument. Based on these results, about how many students did the director survey? So, there's a couple different ways to do this, but one of the easiest ways is that you have this little thing that is percent over 100, and sometimes you see the words is and of here, but I'm going to use the words part and whole. So it talks about piano, right? There's 170 students that chose piano. So piano is recognized as 30%. So we're going to go 30 over 100. And that's 170 students. That is part of the group that was surveyed. We don't know how many people were surveyed, so you put an X down there. To solve this, you cross multiply and then divide. And actually, you can kind of eliminate a lot of these choices. That if 170 students chose piano, and you know more than 30 were surveyed, because that's more chose piano. More were chose that 51 doesn't make sense either. Neither does 170, because 170 is the exact number of people that chose piano. But there should be more that chose guitar, harp, and flute. Even though a harp, I mean, what kind of students did they survey? But hey, it is what it is. So if we cross multiply to actually really solve it, we go 100 times 170 divided by 30. I get 5,666.6, and it repeats, but we need to, it says about how many students did the director survey. So about, choice number D is the closest. Alright, so that's the end of our videos for the multiple choice section of the practice exam. If you have any questions, you can always email me at cjones@ictc.edu, or you can find me in the guidance office last period of any session. So for you guys, this is Indiana, afternoon, around 1:30, I should be in the guidance office. Okay? Or just see me in the hallway. Alright, thanks. Bye.